Okay, here we are up at the display, and right now the lights are off. It's just the actinics. We'll go underneath. Alright, so basically this is where my sump and all the equipment is. So just a quick rundown. The auto top off reserve is right here. I mix lime water, or pickling lime rather, with my top off. In the back right here is an aqua lifter pump, and that enters the sump right here through this 1/4 inch line where the bracket is. Now in this corner, we'll move the fuse light out of the way so that we can see. But over here you'll see there's two float valves. The first one at the bottom is actually what controls the sump level. So when this goes down, it calls for water, and water comes in. The second one is actually a safety. If it ever floats up, it'll break the connection and turn off that pump. Move this out of the way so that we can see the water change device. Now the float switches tie in. They basically plug in through this connection. The wires that were downstairs in the saltwater barrel, that input is right here on the right. This is the other end of that extension cord that the 9.5 is plugged into. Now right now you can see that the unit is in auto top off mode. So what happens is this float switch that's down here triggers auto top off, which when triggered it also activates this outlet right here. And if you watch the LED, plug it back in, it'll call for it. Now the center one is lit because the barrel is full, or it's above the float switch. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to perform the water change. But actually, before I do that, right here in the center outlet, it's labeled MJ. Now that's my discharge pump, which is simply a MaxiJet 400 that's in the sump, and through this vinyl tubing there's a hole that goes out of the side of the house and gets discharged into the yard pretty much. Now this pipe also acts as my skimmer air intake also. So after I do the water change, I'll plug this fitting back in. But for right now, it's set up for water change. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to switch the unit to water change. Now a couple things are going to happen when I switch that. It's going to energize the MJ center outlet, which is going to turn on the discharge pump and start shooting water out of the sump. Now when this float drops, it's going to trigger this outlet, the mag outlet, which pumps water from the basement and enters through this pipe right here, which goes into right before the baffle, before the return. So we're taking water from here and taking it out, and we're putting in water downstream right here. So let's go ahead and give her a whirl. So we'll put it on water change, and right now we're actually discharging water. You can't see it through the line, but if you watch the level in the last chamber, it's going down, and it just triggered our mag. It's going to take a couple seconds to fill the line, and here it comes from the mixing barrel downstairs. And in this setup, the MJ 400 and the Mag 9.5, with the amount of head loss that's on this system, it's actually a good balance in terms of discharge and replenish rate. So this pipe, or this new water, will just keep coming in, and when that float rises, it's going to turn off the mag pump in the basement. Now keep in mind that the MaxiJet 400 is discharging, and that's going to keep discharging all the way until the barrel is depleted to that 10-inch mark, and that float valve in the new barrel, the new mixing barrel, actually triggers. It'll turn the whole setup off, and the mag will just keep filling until basically the sump is at its high point. It's really easy to use. You can adapt it to many different setups. I've got parts coming in. I'll be building 5 of these units. They will be for sale, and depending on how those 5 go, I can always get in more parts to build more. So if you think you might want one, they're going to be very reasonably priced. Probably $65 for the base unit. And then I'm also going to do a float valve kit for, I think, an additional $20, and that's going to come with 3 float valves and the wiring and the bracket, 2 brackets actually, which is very fair, I think. So this is going to keep going, and it'll keep doing its thing probably for another 5 minutes. It takes about 8 minutes to get 25 to 28 gallons of water change. And when it's all done, it'll just stop. And the only thing I got to do is throw that yellow switch back to ATO, auto top off, and the system's back online. And hope you guys enjoy it. The fish don't even know that they're getting a water change.